Hey, good morning. Derek here from Bomb Socks with another round of Bomb Bites where we feast upon the words of Christ and we do it one bite at a time. This week we are doing sections 20 through 22 of the Doctrine and Covenants. And I wanted to start today with just kind of a little introduction right from the Come Follow Me manual that introduces this week. I think they do it really well, as always. The prophet Joseph Smith's work of translating the Book of Mormon was now complete, but the work of the restoration had only just begun. It was clear from earlier revelations that in addition to restoring doctrine and priesthood authority, the Lord wanted to restore a formal organization, his church. So, on April 6th of 1830, more than 40 believers crowded into the Whitmer's family log home in Fayette, New York, to witness the organization of the Church of Jesus Christ. Now, let me pause right there for a second. So, if you've been to Fayette, New York, it's kind of cool to be able to see this Whitmer home. If you have not been to Fayette, New York, would you like to go on a little field trip with me? I'm going to take you on a field trip. See you in a minute. All right, my friends, welcome to Palmyra, New York. I know that was a quick little trip, right? So here we are at the Peter Whitmer cabin here. This right here, if you were to go here, if any of you have been here, just to the right of here, there's a visitor center that they created. It's wonderful. But this is a replica of what Peter Whitmer's farmhouse most likely looked like. And this gives you kind of a layout here. In fact, if you want to go like over to here, for example, you just click on this and it gives you an idea of why the Whitmer home. This talks about how when Joseph and Oliver were in Harmony, Pennsylvania, there was a lot of persecution going on there. And so Oliver had written to David Whitmer and wanted to know if they could come to his home to be able to translate. So that's how they got here. You can click over here. You can see the various sides of the house. Over here, there's an orchard. In fact, there's a cool little story I'm going to share with you just in a minute about what took place in this orchard. But let's go inside and let's check out the Peter Whitmer home. Again, it is not very big. If you were to go in there, it really, this right here lets you know that there were not a lot of people here. David himself estimates that on April 6th of 1830, the day the church was organized, his family home was filled with more than 50, probably in upwards of 60 people who participated in this founding meeting of the church. So you look around here, it is not very big at all. This has been recreated. In fact, another cool little story here is in 1980, it was the 150th anniversary of the organization of the church, and the church broadcasted from Fayette, New York, with President Spencer W. Kimball standing right here with the introduction to General Conference for that year. So this gives you just some little things, like, for example, New York state law required that in order for a church to be legally incorporated, at least 3 individuals had to be elected as trustees. In the case of the church, 6 individuals were selected. This was Joseph Oliver, Hiram Smith, Samuel Smith, David Whitmer, and Peter Whitmer Jr. So the cool thing about this, you can just click on any area of this and it'll give you some great little stories. It'll give you some context. In fact, this one right here is a cool little story from David Whitmer about Joseph. So enjoy this.
One morning, when Joseph Smith was getting ready to continue the translation, something went wrong about the house and he was put out about it. Something that Emma, his wife, had done. Oliver and I went upstairs, and Joseph came up soon after to continue the translation. But he could not do anything. He went downstairs, out into the orchard, and made supplication to the Lord. He was gone about an hour, came back to the house, asked Emma's forgiveness, and then came upstairs. And then the translation went on all right. He could do nothing, save he was humble and faithful.
One of my favorite stories there about just how much the Spirit is needed in this work. You can come over here and you can check out Peter and Mary's master bedroom, and you look how huge this room is. It is very small, actually. So this is their room. You can come over here to the menu. This is kind of cool. So there's just an introduction. So it shows you a little bit about what's going on with the Whitmer home. You've got areas to explore. You can go to any part. If you wanted, for example, go to the upstairs bedroom, you can kind of check out the bedrooms up here. This is just a 2-story home. It's got the gables here, so you got one bedroom over here and you got another on the other side. But you see how cramped everybody was. Nobody had their own room. You were sharing with many people. Here's the west bedroom over here. You can click right here and it can tell you a little bit about what took place. So Joseph received 20 revelations of the Doctrine and Covenants, where this was translated here. You can meet the family if you'd like. Peter Whitmer Sr. He came from a German-speaking family, spoke German in his home. In fact, Mary herself, she also born in Germany, spoke with a German accent, talks about how she was shown the plates from Moroni. You have got all of the Whitmer children. You've got Christian. A couple of the Whitmers were shoemakers. You have got David himself over here, farmer, is a livery keeper, one of the three witnesses. They have two children. It talks about how there's a chest there that was owned by David. You can look up like Nancy Whitmer was a child who died in infancy. So this just gives you some ideas about this place. So it's kind of cool. So I would invite you to come check out the Whitmer home at this website. And it's just cool. You can check out and just have your own little virtual tour that gives you an opportunity to check this place out. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a great website to go to. Again, history.churchofjesuschrist.org, and you can go to those virtual tours there. And so that gives you an idea about the Whitmer home. Now, continuing and just finishing off with this introduction here. Still, some people wonder, why is an organized church necessary? Great question. The answer may be found, at least in part, in the revelations connected with that first church meeting in 1830. Here, blessings are described that would not be possible if the true Church of Jesus Christ had not been regularly organized and established in the latter days. So I love this because we're going to introduce you to the formal organization of the church this week, and there's some great things to be learned from it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this message. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thank you for sharing. You guys are awesome. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.